Good morning, folks. Rob here, and Tuesday sports happenings and things going on today. Not a lot of news. Obviously, LSU they win 17-point victory for them last night. Didn't really feel like a 17-point win. Um, Clemson stayed all over Burrow all night. Let's hope Burrow got out of the game. Relatively healthy. I think he secured being number one pick next year, and he just played another excellent game, and LSU wins the national championship of 45-28. Interzone picked 42-27. That's a real close score. So he really got the closest of anybody. Now, on to baseball. Philadelphia Phillies. Not going to say there's collusion in MLB right now, but I'm starting to worry that teams are going to get in some trouble that are doing arbitration cases possibly to bump up the value of the position. Let me make an example, okay? I understood that the Phillies and Real Muto had virtually agreed to a contract last week in the neighborhood of $12 million. A week later now I'm hearing that the Phillies want to go to arbitration with JT Realmuto. Well, you think when you hear that, you're thinking they're at odds, but not at all. I think that the Phillies are more than willing to pay him $12.3 million. The problem with this is this: when you officially go to an arbitration case, and let's just say the Phillies are sitting in there in front of the judge and then the panel, and Realmuto with his agent, okay? And the Phillies decide, instead of sending their GM and their president, they decide to send, I don't know, Mother Goose in there. You know, you see what I'm saying? Make a mockery of it. And then ask the Phillies, how do you feel about this? Well, what do you mean? You know, that kind of deal. Act idiotic and allow Realmuto to win his case. Now, then you ask why. Well, let me tell you why. If Realmuto wins his case for $12.3 million, then the position of catcher then is rated according to Realmuto at the $12.3 million mark. Thus, teams that don't have the payroll of the Philadelphia Phillies, Tampa Bay, Florida, Miami, Tampa, Cincinnati Reds don't have that type of luxury to be able to throw out that much money. Detroit Tigers don't. There's a lot of teams in the MLB that just don't have the Pirates. There's a lot of teams out there that don't have the luxury of throwing out millions like the Phillies do. Their ownership group is willing to go to all the way up to the tax threshold. They don't care, the payroll tax threshold. But in the process of letting Realmuto get to $12.3 million, they're now upping the price for any of these young catchers that are coming up and then wanting to go to arbitration. They base it off of Realmuto's deal. So I'm very, very concerned that if in 1 week you're willing to pay $12 million, and then the next week $12.3 million becomes a stickling point, and you're going back to $10 million, something's up there. Something's up there. And I'm a Phillies fan. But there are better ways. There are other ways that you can go about the system rather than trying to up the price on other teams. And that's what I feel like they're trying to do here. I think they're trying to raise Real Muto's value so other catchers' values go up, substantially as well. If they get caught doing this, and it was especially if MLB finds out that these two sides are working together in collusion. It's collusion, guys. It's all it is. It's collusion. The Players Association could care less. They love it, but the ownership groups, they're going to get together and they're going to be like, look what the Phillies are doing right there. They've already agreed behind closed doors, shook hands, and they're happy with it. And now they're going to go out and make a public mockery of a court case and going to try to quote unquote fight 12.3 million to the 10 million. Now, if in fact the judge were to uphold that $10 million and have Real Muto make only 10 million, it'd be very, very interesting to see if JT or his agent come out at a later date and have something to say. Well, we really came close to obviously if they end up backfiring on them, which I don't think he will. I think the Phillies really want to sign him, and I think they've pretty much made their bid that they're 12.3, 12 million, whatever in that range. We're fine with paying one of the top 2 or 3 catchers in baseball that amount. But it sure sounds really fishy to me that I hear one Tuesday that they're willing to pay 12 million, and then a week later 12.3 million has become just $300,000. Come on, something's sounding fishy there to me, and I'm starting to wonder if there's some collusion in the air, because if these two sides have agreed in principle, right, and shook hands on it, they don't even have to have signed anything, but if they've agreed in principle and then decide to take this to a court case, that is illegal. That is illegal right there within itself. That is collusion, and that is something I think the league has got to look in on, because I'll be the first to admit that the players, whatever they make, I don't have a problem with it. But to raise the value of the whole position just due to the fact that you in the process of paying your catcher, you want to raise the value and make it tougher on other teams, that's not right. That's not right, and I don't care who you are. So I'm hoping it's not the case. But I'm just, it sure doesn't look like it's all clear there. But if that happened, it's not right. But I'm not saying it did. All I'm saying is that it sure sounds like something could be up here. And if the judge is keen on this deal, he'll go against the player in this situation and bump him back down to 10 million. And trust me, Real Muto will not be one happy camper going into opening day when he pretty much had a $12 million deal, I think, on the table already. It was rumored that in more than one source I'd heard that 12 million was pretty much already agreed. And then I look at it today and I see that the Phillies have 2 arbitration eligible players, and there's only 20 out there. So most all the teams are settling with their players. They really are. They're settling because they realize the judge, he's going to look at the numbers and he's going to judge the way he feels is right. And more often than not, if you look at the positions and look at what the team is offering, what the player is offering, I would say probably 75% of the time you can figure who's going to win. And this one right here, I think this is a no-brainer right here that Real Muto should win this one if everything's above board. And I certainly hope it is. But that's one way to manipulate the system. that does not need to be manipulated. I understand some of these teams are tight wads, don't spend nothing, but don't raise the value of the position just because just because you want to. If you're going to raise the value of position, um, do it because that's the means to an end, not because that's something you can get done on the way to signing one of the best catchers in baseball. So let's hope it's not happened. Once again, congratulations to the LSU Tigers. Ed Orgeron, the coach. Joe Burrow, I think he solidified being #1 pick last night. Clemson Tigers came out defensively like a ball of fire. They played 20 great minutes. And then Trevor Lawrence all night long, I even mentioned it on the channel, he was throwing 5, 10, 15 feet above the players. He just did not look sharp for whatever reason. And I said before the game, they were the two best quarterbacks in college football. Well, I'm sorry. If Trevor Lawrence was going in this draft, he would not go. He would not be the second quarterback. It may not even be the third quarterback now. He's got to raise his stock value up, and by doing that, he's got to win games, but he's also got to throw the ball better. He really does. He has to throw the ball better. Burrow, in the process of LSU winning, he ran the ball when he had to, not just to be running the football. When he was pressured, he ran. He got out of the pocket and he got sacked 4 times, but he held on to the ball and the kid played tough. Threw for 500 yards. I don't think none of us picked 500 yards for Joe last night. But he was throwing the ball all around the yard last night. No INTs. How about that? That is just that right there is just unbelievable. LSU did not turn the ball over one time where Lawrence had to fumble and turned it over. But really, both teams came out and played, I think, probably one of their best games. I think they could play 100 times. I think LSU would beat them 95 of at least 90 of those times. I think they're the better team. I just think they're the better team. By the time we got to the third quarter, you could tell they were starting to get tired. And then Clemson in the fourth quarter didn't score. I don't think they scored a point, did they? I don't think they did anyway. So they what was it? Was it the score 45? 42-25. 42-25. That was the final score. 42-25. It was a 17-point victory for the LSU Tigers. And next year, obviously, Clemson already pre-ranked #1. They should be. They're not losing, but 6 players, 7 players, and when you're not even losing double-figure players, it may be close to 8 or 9, but I don't think it's even 10 players. They're losing, and your quarterback's not one of them, and they're going to be in good shape. They may have to reload at receiver, but other than that, they should be in pretty good shape. And they've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores. They're moving up, so LSU is going to have to reload. They're probably not going to be even favored to win the SEC next year. And by all indications, Florida is the team that may step up in the SEC and really do something. So if they do, then Florida, they've taken a few steps back ever since Urban Meyer left, and they could be stepping right back up there and taking charge of the SEC. Auburn's always tough. Alabama, they'll be reloading with a new quarterback though. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for joining in Tuesday Sports Talk. Just a quick 15-minute review of what happened. JT Realmuto going to arbitration. He's asking 12-3. The team's offering a flat $10 million. So we'll see what happens there. LSU wins the national championship. Ed Orgeron gets his first Heisman Trophy winner. Joe Burrow is now ready to go pro. So um, happy landing in Cincinnati. I think that's where he's going, and they're going to be a better team next year. They just got to get an offensive line to protect him. So, all right, my name's Rob. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. Philip, you're doing a pretty good job on your boxing. I sent you a couple of messages as well, and just I'm gonna look it over some more. But hey, it looks like you're taking the time and the effort to really become well versed at the game. It's the best way to do is just take your time the first 2 or 3 matches. After that, it's going to become easier and easier. Maybe if you get a second 20-sided die, that might help too. So, but other than that, looks like you're doing fine. I'm actually going back and watch Philip some more and look over his bout. But I know Anthony's going to be happy that he got it. And yeah, anybody that's got the game, definitely come on my channel. Let me know how you're liking it. And if it's anything I can do, I will do it. And I'm sure if anything Anthony can do, he'll do it for it to help it too. Okay, guys, have a great day. God bless, and be safe.